Hello and welcome to Clarkenomics. In this video I'm going to talk about the basics of a mixed economy, part 1. So first things first, as I've alluded to in previous videos, there's no such thing as a command economy, a centrally planned economy, and there's really no such thing as a free market, a perfect market economy. In reality, every type of economy in the world is a mixed economy. It's got some command elements, some market elements, some government, some freedom. It's a blend. So every country in the world technically has a mixed economy. So to talk about mixed economies, let's talk about 4 types of goods. It'll give us an idea of what the government actually does in mixed economies. So the first type of good is called a rival good. What it means to be rival is that you using it makes it worse for somebody else to use it. So let's look at an example. A pen. If I'm writing with a pen and you go to try to write with that pen at the same time as me, it's going to diminish my ability to use the pen. Really only one person can use a pen well at the same time. So a good that is rival can't really be shared with another person without impacting each other's use. On the flip side, something that is non-rival might be like a TV show. So you're watching a TV show in your house, but that doesn't make anybody else in another house less able to watch that TV show. That's what we mean by non-rival. It's shareable. Or even if you're sitting right next to somebody watching TV, you're enjoying it, they're enjoying it. In fact, you might even be enjoying it more because you're watching it with another person. So that's non-rival. Your use doesn't diminish anybody else's. Then we've got the issue of excludability. If something is excludable, that means you can stop other people from using it. Now, the 2 examples I've got on the screen so far are both excludable as well. If someone goes to use your pen, you can say, "No, I'm not going to let you use my pen." You can exclude them from the pen. Likewise with television. If it's your TV, you can tell somebody, "No, you can't watch my TV." Or a cable company could say, "No, you can't watch this show. You didn't pay for it," right? So if something's excludable, people can be stopped from using it. Then you've got non-excludable goods. That's the opposite of excludable, means nobody can be stopped from using it. They can't be excluded. So it might just be like a tree out in the middle of the forest. Nobody can be stopped from using it. It's a tree. If it's a tree that nobody owns, right? If it's not on anybody's property. And then another good example of a non-excludable good might be fireworks, right? So fireworks up in the sky, you can't tell somebody, "No, you can't look at the sky where the fireworks are." Fireworks are non-excludable. So a good that is a private good would be both rival and excludable, such as the pen. A good that's a common good is rival but non-excludable, meaning if I cut down that tree, nobody else can use that tree. But it's not excludable because whoever's going to cut it down is who's going to get there first. A good that is a club good is non-rival but excludable. So again, watching TV, you can exclude someone from watching TV, but TV consumption is not rival in nature. 2 people can watch at the same time. And public goods are neither rival nor are they excludable. You can't exclude somebody from watching fireworks, and your watching fireworks doesn't diminish anybody else's ability to watch fireworks. So those types of products will tell us a little bit about what the government does in a mixed economy. For instance, with private goods. The problem with private goods is without government, you'd have to protect your property all the time, right? You'd have to be sitting there protecting it yourself or paying somebody to protect it, whatever. But because we have government, we don't have to waste time protecting our stuff. That's the solution here. The government creates laws and they have police forces that enforce these laws so that your stuff is excludable. It's a private good. You can exclude people from using it. The government's going to back you up on that. And we also do that with contracts, right? We have legal documents that say what belongs to whom. So that's how the government creates private goods, protects private goods. And so that's much more efficient than you sitting around protecting your property all the time. You can go to work without worrying all the time that someone's going to take all your stuff while you're gone. Then we get to common goods. So imagine, if you will, we've got a body of water. And in this body of water, we've got fish. Look at them all. Look at all the fishies. Love it. Now, the problem is that essentially everybody's going to act in their own self-interest without thinking about others, right? Adam Smith said this was a good thing. People are going to do what's best for themselves. So imagine if we had a fisherman come along and catch that fish. He's going to make some money. Let's say he takes that fish and he sells it in the market. He's going to make some money. That's going to say to another fisherman, "Whoa, you made some money in that pond? Let me go make some money." So another fisherman's going to come and he's going to fish. make some money. Another one's going to come, he's going to fish and make some money, and another one's going to come and fish and make some money. And you can probably see the problem here. Every fisherman has an interest in catching as many fish as they possibly can. Now, of course, if they catch all the fish, they're going to get depleted. There's going to be no more fish left. They're going to catch all the fish before they can reproduce and, keep the fish population alive. That's the problem with common goods. They become depleted. And once these fishermen fish the lake, out, they're just going to say, oh, time to move on to somewhere else. And there's no fish left. This is an idea known as the tragedy of the commons. Everybody pursues their own self-interest to the max, but in doing so, creates negative effects for everybody. So, how can the government actually fix this? Let's look at the same example again. We've got fish. There they are. There's our fishies. But the government can solve this problem. The first way they could do this is by creating property rights. They could divvy up this body of water like this. And they could say to this fisherman, you're only allowed to fish in your square. This fisherman's only allowed to fish in his square, this one, and this one. So there are legal limits on where you can do your fishing. And so let's imagine the fishermen want to catch fish. Well, they can, but if they did, there wouldn't be any fish left, right? We've already been there. So because they own this property, they have an interest in making sure that the fish are sustained there. So let's imagine, the fish do what the fish do. They, make little fish babies. And once that has happened, then the fisherman catches a fish, right? Each of these 4 fishermen catch a fish and whatever. But there's still enough fish to reproduce. There they go. And then the fishermen will catch those fish. So you can see what's happening here. Even though the fishermen are still catching fish, because it's their property and that's the only place they can fish, they're being very careful not to overdo it so they don't deplete the population of fish. Whereas without those property rights, they would just be in a race to catch as many fish as quickly as they can before anybody else does, because the fish are rival. If I catch a fish, you can't catch that fish. The other thing the government could do, besides property rights, is impose taxes. So imagine every fish that a fisherman catches, they have to pay a tax on it, right? That's going to slow these fishermen down. It's going to raise the marginal cost of catching a fish. And so essentially, yes, they're going to catch that one fish, right? And they're going to pay a tax for it. But the fish that are left, remember these fish can go anywhere, are going to produce new fish. There they go, wiggling again. And so those new fish are going to come along, and the fishermen, when they catch another fish, will have to pay a tax. And so, sorry about that, jump into the last slide there. The tax helps reduce how many fish are caught and keeps the fish population alive. So governments can fix these problems sometimes with the right policies. Thanks for watching.